All right. We're here with James Wiggins, hiring manager that I supported a few years ago, and now we're partnered up again here at AWS. This time, I will be supporting your senior genomics solutions architect role. James, how have you been? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, Ray, doing good. Glad to be working with you again. Yeah, so I lead our global healthcare solutions architecture team at AWS, and I also lead our global healthcare technical community, which are hundreds of subject matter experts in healthcare technology working with AWS customers around the world. And yeah, like you mentioned, I've been at AWS for 6 years. So I had the opportunity. I started at AWS as a solutions architect, as a senior solutions architect. And then I moved into the solutions architect manager role. Now I'm a senior manager leading our global team. So AWS has been awesome for me to grow my career. And yeah, really excited about this role that we're talking about today, the genomics role.
That's really cool because I do remember that when we started, you were a SA manager, and then I saw you were a senior SA manager. So I love seeing that growth for you and what it can be for most people here if they're doing the right work, partnering with the right people. The world's your oyster if you make it. If you do what you need to do. So with that, let's dive into your genomics SA role. I mean, solutions architects in general, they are our pre-sales engineers. They're deep technically, but at the same time, they have the soft skills to be trusted in front of our customers, especially at the C level, or any executive level, right? So instead of the generalist essays where we talk about the infrastructure stack, where they need to have depth and breadth across the stack, genomics different. It's a little bit different. So talk to us a little bit about the nuances for that role.
Yeah, for sure. So, right, like you mentioned, right, with the solutions architect role at AWS, obviously you're getting someone who has deep technical subject matter expertise, understands the AWS platform really well. But with these healthcare subject matter expert roles, like this genomics role, we're looking for someone who, yes, has deep technical subject matter expertise and probably understands AWS in the cloud well, but has specific experience with using these technologies in this particular domain in genomics. And so, someone who has experience building genomic data analysis applications on AWS, somebody who has experience building out infrastructure platforms that will support storing and processing genomics data. They know the common tools, Nextflow, Cromwell. They're familiar with the leading ISVs in the space, Illumina, DNA Nexus, kind of tools like this, high performance computing models, things that where you're applying IT concepts and hopefully somebody with experience even applying AWS architecture to these domain specific problems in genomics. They may have a deep academic background. In fact, many of our genomics experts at AWS, they do have a master's of science or a PhD in bioinformatics. They deeply understand the genomic science, which is really helpful as they work with our customers because they understand the language that a genomics researcher or an executive at a genomics focused lab or organization is speaking, and they can help to translate that domain specific problem or opportunity into an AWS architecture. So that maybe is, to answer your question succinctly, the big difference between kind of a common AWS SA job role and this one is that we have deep domain understanding of genomics and applying those concepts.
Excellent. And do you expect them or prefer them to have, maybe publications in that field or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that again, like all of the science and deep domain background that someone has, it adds to their richness, their ability to be able to understand and advise customers. I mean, customers, frankly, they're not coming to AWS for typically advice on genomics research. The customers we're dealing with, they are, they're already experts in genomics research, but they need someone. It really is beneficial for them to have someone who doesn't just understand technology but that understands their specific domain so that they don't have to explain what they mean by secondary analysis or variant calling and clinical annotation and things like that, that they can just speak their native sort of language and they're talking with someone who understands that and goes, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Let me explain to you how to do that on AWS and what the
Right.
benefits are.
Gotcha. Normally, we find people in that field to have some kind of experience with machine learning. Do you expect that in their profile as well?
Well, I mean, it certainly is. I wouldn't say it's a must have, but it certainly is nice to have because yeah, so much of ML and also now generative AI are being applied in this space, and this role is actually to work with our leading genomics customers in this space. You know, like you mentioned, kind of at the executive level. So understanding the where these organizations are going, what their vision and roadmap is for the future. That's the other element of this role that being a subject matter expert really will help this person to do is that they can actually be a trusted advisor at the executive level for our customers who can come to them and say, hey, this is what we're thinking. We'd really like your feedback because you're an expert and you understand, you know, sort of where this industry is going, and we can collaborate with them on you know building together.
Gotcha. And location-wise, let's talk about some of the logistics stuff. Well, where would you like this candidate to reside, or what territory will they be covering?
Yeah, so we always want our team members who are working directly with customers to be close to customers physically, right? Ideally, because that you know gives them the ability to easily meet in person. And I think we all know that you know working in person is you know a lot different from working virtually. So in order to do that, this person really needs to be located in the Southern California, San Diego, Los Angeles area, um, and so that would be great. Now, with that said, there are elements of this job role because we're working with leading genomics customers. These are global organizations. They also, you know, they participate in conference and industry events that are global. We also have, like I mentioned, the global healthcare tech team that I lead. It's global. So as we're what a component of this role is also supporting these organizations that globally, and then also helping our global AWS team build up their expertise in what these customers are doing and what they're building. So you know, there's opportunity for some travel, but I would say that the vast majority of the time would be spent in the Southern California area with these customers.
Excellent, excellent. Is there anything else that we should know about this role? Like anything else that I'm forgetting to ask?
You know, I would just say, I guess, to kind of cap off, I think that it's you know difficult to overstate how exciting a role like this can be, where you're working on the world's most advanced technology platform in an exciting space of health. You know, in genomics, right? They're kind of at the bleeding edge of health research with customers that are constantly pushing what's possible, and you get to do that at a level where you influence both customer and AWS executives. I mean, this is a really, it's a compelling opportunity. You know, I know I'm kind of biased here, right? But I think I think it really is. It's one of the most exciting. If you're an expert in this space, this really could be one of the most exciting jobs in the world.
It's interesting. I know you said you're biased. I kind of am too. I'm fascinated by genomics itself. I look at what the people in that world are actually doing, what they're trying to solve for.
Mhm.
Even for families, where before maybe 20 years ago, they're like, oh, there's no cure. Now they're like, it might be possible, right? So everyone's thinking about the possible, what you couldn't do before. Like, hey, let's we might be able to get there. At least we now have, a stepping stone to it. So it's super exciting. I don't think it's false hope. I think it's real hope this time because the tooling is there. So, uh, James, again, absolute pleasure. Seeing you again. Can't wait to share this. Anyone watching this, connect with James Wiggins directly on LinkedIn as well as myself. We're both happy to talk to you and then see if it's a fit for both parties. All right. All
Thank
right.
you, Ray. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. All right.